What is up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? My name's Naomi. Welcome to House of Miscellania. If you're joining me for the first time, welcome. If you are coming back to see me, thank you for coming back. I super appreciate you, and it's so awesome to see you again. I have some things to talk about. It's been a week, so let's get right into it. I am coming at you with a WIP and chat today. WIP means work in progress, where I work on a piece. In this case, it's going to be try to follow. I'm actually really slamming through this piece very quickly. I will plop up on the screen here an image from before this section that I'm working on, where I was. And you know, if I finish this in time and I get, editing done, I'll actually put this finished part up too. And who knows, maybe I'll finish it while we're talking, but I'm this far away from finishing, honestly. 2 rows above this row, and I'm done. And it's honestly been a pleasure. So I am working with basically the same tools I always work with, you guys. I'm pretty no frills. I've got my Black Wolf woodworking pen until I have some of my own to show you, but this one is from Black Wolf Woodworking. It's very thick, which is why I like it. I need a thick boy with 3 C's. I am working with a Firefly tray. It has a little trash tray inside it. I love this thing. The spout, you can open and close it. It's like a little thing here. This is their Switch Mini Max. This thing runs about 20 bucks. I mean, it is incredible. And you can ask them for the washi tape pack, which essentially, like if you're familiar with the washi tape pack, it's where you have something down here on the bottom. So when you pour drills into it, they all gather here, and then you can access both sides of your row. That said, the Switch Mini Max is awesome. The other thing that it has is a little hole here so you can put your pen in and not roll away. Like, who doesn't love that? And it comes with a slide-on lid so that you can slide on the lid. You don't lose anything inside. It's pretty amazing. You take it just off like magic. Anyway, let's get right into it because, and I'm using Diamond Art Club's putty, which is pretty much what I've been using. I got my little sad square here that I've been slowly inching away at. I actually like Dax putty. Normally, I would probably be using Butterfly Effectwares, and I might actually, you know what, I'm going to switch to Butterfly Effectwares. I have not used their putty in a minute, and I adore Butterfly Effectwares putty. So let's do a Lucky Clover. Yes, their Lucky Clover putty smells like Lucky Charms, you guys. It's amazing. Let me get my putty out of here, and I will go ahead and talk with you about the week. So it has been stormy. Stormy. I mean, beyond stormy here in Wisconsin. I'll get into those in a minute, but it's been beyond stormy. We did, like, during my live on Saturday, we had, it smells so good. We had a tornado warning come through. It did end up doing some damage to the south side of the town that I live in. Everybody's okay. They were without power for a little bit, but everybody is fine. No casualties, no real, like, serious damage to property. Obviously, it was very windy. There were some trees that fell over, but no real serious injuries, thank God. We don't want any injuries, nobody to get hurt. But yeah, it's been incredibly stormy here. For the last couple of weeks, our river is about 11 feet higher than normal. So it's been nuts. As far as weather goes. We had the graduation party since the last time that I talked to you. That went off very well. No, I think maybe, gosh, time just melts together at a certain point. But in the meantime, I have received my resin, which means I can start working on some pens, like actual resin pens. I have some plans for that. I am beyond excited to work with resin and see if I can't make the pens kind of that I have in mind. I want to make a House of Miscellania pen, and I also have some hybrid pens in mind. I'm just super stoked. And what I was waiting on was resin. I also received some pigments, some dyes from Jennifer Wilson. Jennifer Wilson, if you're watching this, massive thank you for getting those pigments, those dyes off of my wish list. If there's anything that you would like to get for me off of my wish list so I can get this pen business going, there are lots of things on there. Yeah, there's some fun stuff too, some canvases and whatever, but really what I need are the things to do with pen turning, the molds, the micas, that sort of stuff. So honestly and truly from the bottom of my heart, in advance, if you do end up getting anything off of my wish list for me, holy crap, thank you. I will make sure that you are among the first to get a pen. I promise. Once I start, doing something more with it than just playing around. Anyways, I've been spending more time with my family and outside, even though the weather has been just ungodly hot. This time of year, as I've stated, I really get out of the house more often. I try not to spend all of my time inside because I've just found that for my mental health, it is better for me to actually get out, see things, what have you. So I've been doing a lot of walking. I actually walked past, I do kind of the same track basically every day. I walk the same, few blocks and just in a loop before I get back to my house. And one of the homeowners on my walk mentioned this morning, "Oh, you really get your steps in, don't you?" I said, yeah, I do, because I'm always walking past the house that they live at. So it was funny to have somebody comment on the fact that I must be getting my steps in. It's like, yeah, I really like to get in some exercise every day, because otherwise I'd be in bad shape, you guys, really, really bad shape. Now that I'm not currently working, it's been harder to get the exercise that I normally would get while I'm at work, because, I'm not moving around as much. And so, yeah, we don't want to put on too many pounds around the tummy area. So I make sure to get up and get moving. It's vital. It's vital. That all said, sorry, Bacon is meowing. Oh, speaking of cats, oh my gosh, I was leaving yesterday morning. I was leaving for a walk yesterday from when you're watching this, because I put this up Wednesday morning, but Tuesday morning, I was leaving for a walk from my house, and this beautiful orange tabby, medium-haired tabby, a boy, I'm assuming, and also I believe he was neutered. There's just not a lot of female orange tabbies out there. Not to say it couldn't have been an orange tabby female, but more unlikely than it was a boy, right? Well, so I'm about to leave the house, and he just starts rubbing on my leg. He was the cutest thing I've ever seen in life. And so I was just fascinated with this cat. So I was petting him. I ended up sitting down. I texted Dustin. I said, this orange cat wants to come live with us. He was like, no. Like, man, what was I supposed to do? It followed me home. He said, yeah, no. But, I tried. I really tried. I know that my youngest, he lost his cat in February. She was old. Her name was Chicken. And so he's really been, thinking about kitty cats. And so I felt bad. I told him about the cat, just that it was so cute and friendly. And he said, I want a cat. And I was like, yeah, I know, but what do you want me to do? I can't fight with your dad about it, right? So, it was a very, very cute cat. I talked to my father-in-law about, working in the garage where his woodworking tools are and whatever. And he said that he really, he doesn't necessarily need to be there, but he does want me to have someone there at the house with me just for safety reasons. And I can see, like, especially if I'm going to be using the lathe, and I can see where he's coming from. I'm going to be mostly working with resin, I think, while I'm there tomorrow. While you're watching this, I'm probably over at the house doing stuff with resin, just messing around, maybe making some molds of things, whatever. I'm going to try some stuff. So I told him for my safety, I would make sure that I had somebody there, in case something happened, there would be somebody to keep an eye on things and, make sure I didn't rip an arm off or something on the lathe, which I appreciate. But I'm really looking forward to getting some things started. I thought I put the right stuff on Amazon, but it's not technically the right resin. That said, this resin that I got is going to work just fine. It just has a longer cure time, so I won't be able to work with it right away. It's gonna work just fine when I work with it, but it needs a longer setup time, which is actually kind of fine because popped some drills at myself. Which is actually fine because I'm going to need a little extra time working with the stuff, and because it has a longer setup time, it has a longer working time as well, where I have more time to try and actually work with it. So there's that benefit. So this is I feel like it's going to be a great starter resin, and then I'll move on to something that has a little less forgiveness on work time and go from there. So either way, it's going to work, and I'm going to be excited, and yeah, it should be great. So I'm going to take the resin and the dye over there tomorrow. I'm going to probably pour some molds, get some things together, and it should be fantastical. I got a weird call from Dustin yesterday. He said, so Bayfield or Door County, Bailey's Harbor. And I said, huh? He said Bayfield or Bailey's Harbor. And I was like, what are you talking about? He said, for fireworks. Well, and I've already kind of mentioned that for those who were on the live yesterday, that fireworks are like they're the stuff for me. I have what's called synesthesia, which causes my brain to receive information in a different sort of way. So I thought, you know what, one part of this, I wanted to talk about what synesthesia is and what it's like for me. And then I kind of wanted to veer into the mental health portion. Let me finish telling my story first, and then I'll explain synesthesia. I don't want to get too far off track. Autism, sorry. So he asks me, where do I want to go to fireworks? Now, fireworks are very, very important to me for a couple of reasons. One is synesthesia. The other, I have loved fireworks as long as I can remember. Well, so as I was explaining to people during my live, Wisconsin is shaped like this, okay? So if right here is where the bottom of the state is, and this is the top, this is the thumb, I live like boop right there. If this is the state line, I live like 15 minutes from the state line, okay? Bayfield is up here near Lake Superior, and Bailey's Harbor is here out toward the end of the thumb on the peninsula in Door County. This whole thing right here, boop, is Door County. Either way we split it, this is a 5.5 hour drive, 6 hour drive. This is a 4.5 hour drive, okay? So to just go out of town for fireworks seemed to me a little goofy. We usually make a trip for my sober birthday. Now, my sober birthday, I'll be celebrating on the 6th of July this year, 5 years sobriety. Big deal to me. It's like being reborn almost to be sober. And so, one, the fact that we usually go away. This year we weren't sure, with me not working, money's been tight, whatever. So I didn't expect to do any going of anywhere. I knew he was taking vacation. He always does around my sober birthday because his birthday's the end of July. And then, I thought he was just going to stay home. That was that, whatever. Well, it turns out that he wants to go somewhere for a few days during the week because my sober birthday on the 6th is Saturday. Also, my good friend Sarah's birthday, so I'm looking forward to that. We share a birthday in common. Hers is a real birthday. Mine's a figurative birthday, but either way. So that Saturday is the 6th, but the 4th of July and whatnot is during the week. So I guess we're going to go for a few days. I'm going to set up some content beforehand, schedule it out, whatever, so that we can go on this trip. And I told him I wanted to go to Bailey's Harbor, which is in Door County, out on the thumb. Because I absolutely love Door County. I mean, it's one of our favorite places to go. Our favorite state parks are there. It's just, it is absolutely the most relaxing, wonderful places to visit. Best sunsets, hands down I've ever seen in my life. I will make sure to take lots of pictures. And Beans gets to go with us, so there's that. But that's part of why we're gonna go. Is it's my favorite place. We're celebrating my sober birthday, and it's gonna be a really nice vacation, a time for us to reconnect with each other. And I'll be taking something for diamond painting. I just have to, but internet there is going to be really spotty. So probably my Tuesday live that week will be skipped over because I just won't be able to, I won't have the internet to do a live. It's out in the middle of literal nowhere. To try and do a live would be impossible. But what I was going to say about fireworks and why I love them so much, just like with diamond painting, there is a sense of like ASMR, right, that goes along with it. And the reason that people like ASMR is because it targets specific nodes in the brain, right? Well, synesthesia is a phenomenon in which stimulation of one cognitive pathway leads to, and I'm reading this off of a Wikipedia, I'll explain in English after. It leads to involuntary experiences in a secondary sensory or cognitive pathway. Meaning, when I think of numbers, I associate them with colors. Now, that makes diamond painting very interesting because the numbers on here, like the number 8 on here is yellow, Well, to me, an 8 is green. That can mess with me a little bit sometimes, but it also means that when I hear music, for instance, I may experience, I usually do experience colors, or when I experience certain sounds, I experience it in color, or in a sensation, or in a taste. Um, Sometimes if a person with synesthesia sees shapes, they might smell something, or you look at words and you have tastes. Like there are certain words in the English language that I simply can't read. I can't look at. It makes me sick to my stomach. There are also words that are like good words, like coupon. Coupon, when I read that word or even speak that word, it gives me the sensation that I am on a slide. It's like coupon. Is that really weird? Yes. I don't know if it's a connection with autism or not. I'm not certain. But it's something that I've always experienced. There's a specific word that people use usually to talk about cake or muffins or whatever to denote how damp it is. I don't like that word in particular specifically because it... Wow. So sorry. Beans had a little baby freak out. Where was I? The word. So when I hear that word, the best way that I can describe it is you ever leave laundry in the washer for like a day or two too long and it has that like mildewy, musty kind of smell to it? Well, I get that as a flavor in my mouth when I hear it. It makes me instantly nauseous. When I read it, when I see it, I can't even go down the cake aisle because everything's super M word or deluxe M word, right? It's on lotion bottles, shampoo and conditioner bottles. I have to black it out on things like eye drops. It's terrible. And I've had this as long as I can remember. You know, everybody's synesthesia is different. Everybody experiences it differently. And so it's usually not the same from person to person, but I know that I really like diamond painting. Like, I love that sound. This. Not the tapping. But the diamonds going into the tray. Love that. Or going into here. I love that sound. Even the popping sounds from you know, the putty on the diamonds. Like, I love all of it. It's probably why I find this so soothing is because of synesthesia, right? Very little is known about where synesthesia actually comes from and how it starts, where it starts, how it develops, right? Some people say that it happens during childhood, and I remember my first experience was, I think I was probably 8 or 9 when I remember having certain like perceptions about synesthesia, like knowing that something was different, that something different was happening in my brain. So I don't really know. And in doing research on it, it's like all I can really find is that they think it develops during childhood because that's when you are building the pathways and you are dealing with abstract concepts for the first time. I don't know much more than that as far as like I don't remember there being a triggering event. I don't remember anything in particular happening that made me go, huh, that's weird. It just sort of crept up on me as a kid and then just followed me into adulthood. In fact, I didn't know that it wasn't something that everybody experienced until much later in my life when I was explaining something to someone and they looked at me like I was crazy when I was talking about the colors associated with numbers. Just really, really weird, right? It's like the earliest case of synesthesia goes back to like 1690. Somebody made a report about a blind man who said he experienced the color scarlet when he heard the sound of a trumpet. Now, it's hard to say if that person was actually dealing with synesthesia or whatever, but there are theories that it develops in childhood, and that's when a person first starts to experience, right? There are a couple of different types. One is projective synesthesia. That's where you see colors, forms, or shapes when stimulated. And then there's associative synesthesia, whereas feeling a very strong and involuntary connection between the stimulus and the sense that triggers it. So like in chromesthesia, which is sound to color, which I also experience, somebody might hear a trumpet and see an orange triangle in space, okay? While a person who projects might hear a trumpet, see an orange triangle, while an associator might hear a trumpet and think that it sounds orange. Now that's what I deal with. But it can happen between any two senses, right? Sight to taste, taste to sound, all of it. So it's just really weird. I've never understood a way to explain it to people to help them understand it without them kind of glazing over and looking at me like I'm nuts. But I am nuts. I've already dealt with that. But yeah, it's just been it's been an experience, and to try and explain it is really difficult. I know that I'm not the only person who deals with it, and it's really been since the inception of the internet where more people can connect with each other on things like that I finally understood that I wasn't alone, that I'm not crazy, and that it's a thing. It's an actual thing. Because at first, I was told for a long time, that's not real. That isn't a thing. What are you talking about? Colors don't have numbers associated. Numbers don't have colors. Like sounds don't. And it's like, how do you explain that to somebody who has no idea what you're talking about without sounding like a crazy person? It's impossible. I can tell you that much. It is impossible. So I've been very grateful that since the internet, I have been able to explain it to people and have them understand. And even to have people say, oh my God, I know what that is. I didn't know it had a name or whatever. Because the fact is that, you wouldn't know that it has a name. It's a very different type of thing, right? Sorry, I've got this weird, so this line, like with the Diamond Art Club perforated plastic, they don't always get it straight, and so the line will start to like creep upward. So I'm kind of trying to build a line in. Anyways, So yeah, I've been very grateful for the internet to be able to connect with people who understand what I'm talking about and they don't look at me like I'm just a crazy person. So, anyways, synesthesia. It's interesting. That's not the mental health thing that I wanted to talk about though. That just it came up as kind of a question. What is that? What are you talking about? What's that like? And I kind of wanted to dedicate a little time to explaining it because it is a weird thing, you know. Uh, I've got a lot of weird quirks. I guess you'd call them quirks. Um, I don't know what else to call them besides quirks. I already talked a little bit during my live about eating Skittles and the correct way to eat Skittles and dealing with that. Um, but and I talked about how the correct way to eat Skittles is, I thought it was tied to like OCD, and in my case it is not connected to OCD, it's connected to PTSD. It's a control thing. um didn't didn't plan to talk about that here either. Just it came up as a thought and in my live, and so yeah. uh what I did want to talk about is last time I did a whip and chat, I introduced my fairy oracle cards. It's the Fairies Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue, or Healing with the Fairies Oracle cards. And I thought it would be really fun to pull a card, which I already shuffled, to pull a card and then talk on that subject as it deals with mental health. So these are all shuffled, ready to go, and I am picking the first card off the top. And we've got Quiet Time. Look at that pretty fairy sitting by the water. Very sepia toned. Quiet Time. So, I set that there for a moment. I'm just going to dig into this book here and see what it says. We'll just give the card meaning. You need some time alone, away from other people and environmental issues and noises. Even a brief respite would be extremely rejuvenating for you. And it says, affirmation. I now give myself permission to be silent within and without. My mind is quiet and I enjoy my own company. It says, sometimes we're not even cognizant of the detrimental impact of stress in our life. We become so accustomed to living in an uproar that we're not aware when our body is telling us that it's on overload. The symptoms include illness, unusual fatigue, depression or anxiety, appetite and weight issues, addictions, sleep disorders, irritability, and a desire to withdraw from life. By drawing this card, you are being asked to honor your body and soul by spending some quiet time alone as soon as possible. This might mean going on a silent retreat, spending the day at a lake, beach, or in the mountains, taking a hike, or visiting a day spa. You could even turn off your phone, put a do not disturb sign on your door, and take an afternoon nap, a long bubble bath, or read your favorite book. Regardless of the form your quiet time takes, the fairies just ask that you keep this promise to yourself without delay. Now, as I am going to Door County, where I will have some quiet time, generally quiet time, as it deals with mental health, it's wildly and massively beneficial for your mental health. Obviously, it is really awesome for stress reduction. The more quiet time that you can get, it allows your brain to rest, relax, like just decompress, right? I oftentimes find myself swept up in what is going on, the the drama of it all, that I don't give myself time to just step back, assess, reassess, whatever. I'm just, I'm in it. I'm in the fray, and I can't get out because I'm busy trying to fix everything, I guess. And if I give myself the quiet time I need, it'll let my brain rest and recover from the constant stimulation of daily life. It also, obviously can promote a sense of calm. Not only that, but it helps you when you're quiet, improving your focus. Just allowing yourself to have a minute of just, even a minute of silence, just to take in what you're seeing and take in what you're experiencing, to focus on whatever, mental clarity even. And I feel like sometimes when I don't let myself have that quiet, I do start to scatter and become very scattered, very lost in the sauce, all over the place, all over the map. I want to be able to solve problems more effectively, and I feel like I can't until I've given myself some inner peace and some inner calm. There's also the emotional regulation aspect, where quiet time would allow me to really focus on the things that get me like up to my limit. I can shut those off for a little bit and bring myself back to a place of just peace. Not necessarily quiet, not necessarily resolution, but peace. Peace can be attained without resolution. I can find my way to peace without necessarily having closure. But I can't do that if I can't find a space for myself to be quiet in. I also feel like being quiet allows me to understand my own emotions, my own thoughts, my own feelings. I understand very well about other people's thoughts and feelings, probably to a fault. I allow myself to wrap myself in other people's energy, and then it's a detriment to me because I am failing to understand my own feelings about a situation. There's also the possibility to enhance your creativity. Without all the noise and the distractions, the mind is free to wander and to generate new ideas. I also feel like some of that quiet time I could, or probably should, devote to better sleep. I am awful at advice giving when it comes to sleep. I don't do a lot of it. Those who are on my Discord can attest that I am up at all hours. I am up to talk to anybody 4 hours. It just, when my mind is racing, it's easier to talk that out with other people than to just try to sit in my own crap all by myself. And I feel like Yeah, I could probably sleep better. Am I going to sleep better? No, but I can allow myself some quiet time to get some better sleep. There's also using quiet time for mindfulness or meditation. Now, somebody had mentioned in the Discord about not being able to meditate, and not to bring somebody else's topic in here, but I actually only bring that up because they're not the only person who finds it very, very hard to get to a meditative place. That quiet time, it's hard to quiet your brain fully. It's hard to meditate when it seems like you can't get today's grocery list out of your mind. And it's about allowing that thought to cross and then moving to the next thing. Obviously, you don't need to settle on the thought, but you need to address it enough to, okay, I got to deal with my groceries, moving on to the next thing. Let those thoughts cross, but don't focus, right? Meditation is not easy, and it's actually easier if you find on YouTube like a guided meditation that you can follow. Guided meditation is wonderful. I can't give you any specific like recs for guided meditation, as I don't really utilize YouTube for that, but you can check some things out, try a few things, see what works for you so that you can find that inner calm, that inner peace, that inner quiet, because it is elusive, very elusive, basically to everybody. But if you can find it, oh my gosh, it's wonderful. I feel like quiet time also allows you to focus on personal growth. Really let your mind spend some time on how you've grown, where you're at, what you're doing, where you've been, where you're going. Allow yourself to take credit for things, because often I feel like we do not allow ourselves to take credit for the things that we've done or that we're good at, that we should. We should take time to just give ourselves some damn credit, because you do the thing. You do the thing every day, right? If you're introspective and you're exploring yourself, you can grow personally that way. Finding out more about who you are, what you want, what your dreams are, what makes you tick. You know, there's that RuPaul saying, if you can't love yourself, how in the H are you going to love somebody else? Yeah, it's true. It's very true. And until you can find that inner calm and peace, you can't. You can't possibly. So that introspection, it's huge. Obviously, there's also the physical benefits that go along with it, right? Just that you're actually reducing your stress levels. I'll tell you, my last job, I'm sad I'm not working there anymore, but the stress levels that I had at that job were astronomical. I was on my way to a freaking stroke or a heart attack before the end of this year, before I left that job. And I've had a lot of quiet time to reflect on that. I've needed it. I have definitely needed it. And reducing my stress levels, like, I don't know where I'd be. I don't know where I'd be right now if I didn't find a way, if I didn't find a community, if I didn't really give myself time and space to grow and to change, you know? I also feel like in this quiet time that you can enhance your relationships. Quiet time doesn't mean alone time. It doesn't have to be. And I'm really looking forward to spending some quiet time with Dustin and just getting to know each other. Not again. I mean, we know each other very, very well, but just getting to know each other now, getting to know each other and how we may have changed in the last several months or year or whatever. Because we do this trip once a year, just the two of us. And it's funny that card should come up right when I'm talking about taking a vacation and getting away and having that quiet, because we do need that time. We haven't had that time in a year. And so for us to be able to reflect on this last year and what has changed, what's the same, what we're hoping and dreaming about, all the things, we need that time to build, to rebuild, all of it. I also think that, we'll have some time to foster some really adult conversation and to better understand each other and to be empathetic and understanding each other's space and all of it, right? So I'm definitely looking forward to this quiet time. I also feel like in being quiet and reflecting that anybody can have a better appreciation for the here and right now, for the present moment. It allows you to live in the present, to appreciate life more, and to have a more positive outlook. I mean, I'm not all doom and gloom, but there have been some things lately that have gotten me down, made me wonder if I'm on the right path, have really just shaken me to my core, And just like I said a few weeks ago, I don't ever want to stop trying. I don't ever want to stop learning and growing and just being better. I'm afraid of showing people all of me because I worry about what they'll think, what they'll say, what they'll believe about me, if they'll like me, if they'll accept me. I've been facing rejection lately, and I guess I thought, in a community, right, where it seemed like everybody was kind and sweet and whatever, that maybe that's not so much the case. That there's people going to be out to get you no matter what. And so I'm dealing with that kind of rejection that comes with it. I'm rebuilding, because that's what you have to do, is rebuild. But if I had not taken some quiet time after to reflect and to grow and understand, I feel like the mind space that I would be in right now would be far from healthy. It would be very far from healthy. Dangerously unhealthy, in fact. A person can find their way to self-destruction pretty easily when they're feeling left out or alone. It can cause all kinds of issues. And I'm the kind of person that when I feel excluded or when I feel alone or lonely, I tend to lash out at those who are closest to me. And my family, who has never done anything to make me feel excluded, they end up paying the price for it, because outside of my safety net, I'm feeling unsafe. You know? Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. I realize it's kind of like speaking in code when you're not being exact or exacting with your examples or with your words, and I'm trying to be exacting and intentional with my words without throwing anyone under the bus or without making anyone feel responsible, because I have no reaction. I have no control over what another person chooses to say or do at all. I only have control over my reaction to what someone says or does. And honestly, no one can do anything to me that I do not allow, right? They can do things around me, but they can never do anything to me that I do not control. Not in this instance, anyways. So whatever I'm feeling and whatever ways I am reacting and whatever ways I am handling the situation, like, it's because I want to feel like they have done something to me when they haven't. They may have done something that affected me, or they may have done something around me that affects my environment, but they have not done anything to me unless I allow them to. And I don't want the narrative of my life to be complaining as though I am a victim, because the only person who can make me a victim is me. Period. That goes for you too. The only person who can make you feel like a victim is you. If you are feeling some sort of way about something that someone has said or done, you are in control of your emotions. No one else is. If you allow people to control your emotions, then you've lost. Unfortunately. And I have to remind myself of that too. Because it would be very easy to blame another person on my mood, on my health, on my well-being, on my mental frame, any of it. No. No. They only have the power over me that I allow them to have. And anything more than that is me giving up my power. I feel like I would not have found my way to these answers if I did not take time to reflect on what has happened around me, not to me, because remember, no one can do anything to me. I have control over that. But around me, that I can either allow to affect the decisions I make going forward, and then they have done something to me. They've made me the ass that they've claimed that I am. I need to get out of my feelings. I need to get out of my fifis. I need to let myself be quiet in myself. Unfortunately, there are those out there who will make it their sole purpose in this life to watch other people fail. They will go out of their way to tear down your successes. They will go out of their way to laugh when they think that you've fallen. But only you have control over how you react to all of that. My reaction lately, because what can I do really, especially to people that I can't see? Really, all that I can do to people that I can't see is take some quiet time, reflect. Why are they saying what they're saying? Why are they doing what they're doing? Is it them? Is it me? Did I do something? How can I make myself better for myself, for me personally? How can I make myself better for myself? Because I'm not making myself better for the people who are going to do everything in their power to see me brought down, right? To take me down a notch or take me down a peg or whatever the hell they feel like they're doing. No. How can I make myself better for myself? What can I learn from whatever they were attempting to destroy or to remove or whatever? What can I learn? And what I learned is, in this quiet time that I took to consider all aspects, one, like I said, the only one in control of the way that I feel or react is me. I have let so many things take my power throughout my whole life. Sometimes when I didn't have a choice, sometimes when I did have a choice. I have let other people, places, and things take power from me my whole life. So, one, I'm going to take back my power. It's mine. I will not allow what others say to me or about me to control the way that I react. I'm going to make a point to listen more, speak less. Hard to do. Really hard to do, admittedly. And to try to see what it is that I might have done that would warrant another person trying to bring me down. Is it them? Is it me? What is it? And if there's something there to be fixed, if there's something there to be improved upon, I am not perfect. I will never be perfect. I can try to be better, but I can never be perfect. So, what lesson is there? What lesson is in there? And I'm never going to find it until I take that quiet time. But what I will do, what I will continue to do, is to show and allow myself as much grace as I would give to anyone else. Because I'll tell you what, I have given grace to people who probably didn't earn it from me. They probably, in fact, could have gotten it a little harder from me and others. But I'm going to give them, I almost always give them grace anyways. But I'm going to remember to save a little bit of that for myself, because I don't do that often enough. And neither do you, frankly. You know how I know? Because everyone in this world is just a lot bit too freaking hard on themselves. So, today, right now, starting right now today, I want you to plan a time, even if it's 5 minutes today, even if it's a weekend, next weekend, whenever it is, plan some time in quiet and in reflection. Ask yourself, are you the person that you thought you were going to be when you were younger? If not, why? What's missing? What's different? What's not working, right? Where is it? Where did it veer, right? And what can you do to change that? Because I'm not asking you to be the person that you think that everybody else should be proud of. I want you to be the person that your little 3, 4, 5-year-old self, that person. I want you to make you and your younger self proud of who you are. Because, frankly, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of you. It does matter what you think of yourself. So, all that said, I'm working toward being the person that Naomi at 4 and 5 years old would be proud of. That's not to say that I'm not proud of myself. Please don't take it that way. I'm not insulting myself. I'm not there yet. And I want to be fully transparent to say I am not there yet. I'm working on it, though. I'm working toward it. The more that I am able to stop and really assess what I'm saying, what I'm doing, why I'm saying and doing what I'm saying and doing, I am becoming the person that 4 and 5-year-old Naomi would be very, very proud of. No embarrassment. I've got things that I might not be absolutely proud of, but I am proud of the leaps and bounds that I've made since making mistakes, because I'm not going to judge myself forever on the mistakes that I've made. But I will judge myself based on what I do after I've made mistakes, how I rise up, how I dust off, how I rise again. And I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm working on it. I am working on it very, very hard. And as long as you are too, then you should be proud of the work you're doing on yourself today, right now. I know I am. I'm very, very proud of you. You don't hear it enough. I want you to take some time to be quiet. One, for even an hour today. Even an hour of literal shut it all down quiet time. And then as soon as possible, get yourself out. Go touch some grass. Go touch some nature, right? Go be quiet. Take a mini vacation or whatever way that you can quieten your mind and find your inner peace. The part of yourself that allows you to forgive yourself and be proud of yourself and to work toward the person that you wanted to be or that you were proud of when you were younger. I know you can do it. Leave me a comment. Let me know, what do you like to do when you've found quiet time? Do you read a book? Do you meditate? Do you just veg? Do you sleep? What are you doing with your quiet time when you finally find it? What are you gonna do with your quiet time when you finally find it? Interested to know that too. I think I'm gonna take a little time today while I'm working on the resin things that I want to work on, and I want to really just find an hour of meditative time, right? Because I think that I will find a lot. I will discover a lot about me in it. But either way, you guys, as ever, I thank you for sticking around, listening to my little whip and chat. I really, really hope that you have a wonderful week and know that you have my love and my admiration to take with you. Until next time, I hope that wherever you are in this great, big, beautiful world, that you are having a wonderful morning, evening, or afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. I massively, massively, from the bottom of my heart, love you guys. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.